Hello, fellow kaiju fans and kaiju collectors. I'm back for my next review, and as per some requests on my channel, I'm here to give you a quick review of my thoughts on Godzilla King of the Monsters, the newest movie in the MonsterVerse. So, what did I think? Was it good? Was it bad? I'd say it's pretty good with some minor cons, and these are like very minor nitpicks. Nothing that would really detract from my enjoyment of the film, and for each person, it's going to be a little bit different, but overall, I was very fulfilled by the movie. It was kind of what I was hoping for when I heard that we were getting a sequel to the 2014 movie, was that we would get like a throwback to one of the old Toho movies. And if anything, this is Ghidorah the Three-Headed Monster in a modern time. But what were the cons of the movie, just to get that out of the way? Well, one con that I noticed was like in the beginning of the movie where it's a lot of exposition about the state of Monarch and the Orca, spoiler alert, how they control the monsters. When it's setting that all up, they seem to drag it out very long, and to a point it can start to get a little tedious. But once the movie picks up and once Ghidorah's been released and all the monsters are pretty much out roaming around, the movie actually really starts to pick up. So that's really not a major issue. It's just, I noticed that upon second viewing, like that I found myself thinking, oh, well, let's get to the monster scenes. So that's just like something very minor. But the second con, and something that could become an issue, but it's really not, is how a lot of the monster scenes are done at night. And this doesn't really prove an issue now. In fact, I like the idea of monster fights at night. But at the same time, too, when it comes to the Blu-ray, like we saw with 2014, where that was very dark, this could pose an issue if Legendary and Warner Brothers don't properly adjust how it's presented, because what we saw in theaters in 2014 versus what was on the Blu-ray was drastically different. You could practically see everything going into that. But the Blu-ray sadly did not retain that lighting, and certain scenes at night got very hard to see. Those are really my only cons with the movie. There's nothing major, and I'm planning on going to see it a couple more times, so maybe I'll do an updated review. But as far as the pros go, they far outweigh the cons. One of my favorite things was the reintroduction of Ghidorah and how he was updated for a modern look. Personally, this is my favorite look of Ghidorah so far. It combines what we like about the Showa series and what about the Heisei series, but also gives it like a modern dragon look. He looks ferocious, and also how they gave his heads three different personalities. How the center and right head all hate the left head because it's very stupid and it does stupid stuff. That was something neat, at least in my opinion, was because we haven't seen that before. They've all just been three heads that move around, but there's nothing really special about it. Also how, like Godzilla, you can see Ghidorah's charge up for his gravity beams, like as you can see it go up his neck and everything. That was actually really cool. So, overall, Ghidorah was one of the highlights of the movie for me, including all the fights between him and Godzilla, and the only thing that was a little bit weird to me was how he was surrounded by this perpetual hurricane. That's just a minor nitpick, but as far as the battles go, I mean, first battle, it's short, but it's very well done, and like you're actually kind of seeing the human toll that these monsters take while the humans are like trying to dodge them, fighting. Like you're seeing the battle going on from both perspectives, and that's something that most Godzilla movies don't give us, is like, what effect does it have on the humans? Because all we see are the monsters roaming around and fighting and destroying things, but we don't see how the people are reacting to this and how they're trying to get away. This was something the King of the Monsters really brought in, and I really liked that aspect to it. Now here's where I'm going to get into the spoilers. Some other things I really liked: the musical score, especially like after they've revived Godzilla, they like this, just the soundtrack. Bear McCreary did a really good job with this soundtrack. You can tell like he's definitely a big fan of the series and a big fan of the music of the series, like especially Akira Ifukube and some of the other artists that have contributed to Godzilla's sound catalog over the years. The hints like back to the old Godzilla March theme from the original Godzilla, or like the theme to Godzilla vs. Mothra, the throwbacks to that brought in with modern instruments and the chanting stuff added in, actually this is one of my favorite soundtracks of the whole franchise because it's both parts new, but also equal parts like a tribute to the classic soundtracks. And with the style of the movie, with the monsters that have been introduced, it really, really fits. Another pro of mine would be just Godzilla in general. Godzilla's a badass. We all know that, but in this movie, I would say he's an amped up level of badass. Especially after he's seemingly killed by the oxygen destroyer. They bring him back to life, and he goes back pretty much as the one guy puts it, Serizawa's got this lizard juiced. Pretty much, he's all jacked up, he's ready to fight, and he pretty much kicks ass the rest of the movie. But I like that aspect of it. Like, the 2014 movie, he was just seeing his nature's way of balancing itself out, which he's still seeing that way this time. But it's more of now he's trying to reclaim his position as the king of the monsters because of what happens within the movie. Overall, I really don't have that many complaints, and you can be guaranteed I am going to pre-order this movie when it comes out. But other than the minor nitpick about the coloration and the lighting, I don't really see any major issues with this movie. It's actually really well made, and it really sets us up for a good series coming up. Now, if Godzilla vs. Kong is successful, then I hope that Legendary, if they don't explore what the post-credit scene was for this, I hope they explore it for a movie after Godzilla vs. Kong, because that would make for something comparable, especially since Warner Brothers has been slipping with their DC movies. This would be something that they could focus on to kind of complement what Disney has done with Marvel. So, other than that, I really don't have much else to talk about, but I would highly recommend you go see it. Give the movie its due money. You can definitely tell that Michael Dougherty and Gareth Edwards were both fans of the movies, but more so Dougherty, because of the way that he throws in these little Easter eggs that only really Godzilla fans would get. Other people, they just kind of glaze over it, but for the fans, like, it's a very welcome treat. And I'm very glad that he did what he did with the movie, because this could have either gone really good or really bad. I'd say it was more of like a very good, not really good, but it was good. So yeah, overall, I'd give the movie a 4 out of 5. Not quite up there with 2014, but I would be hard-pressed to pick a favorite between the two. So, hope you guys enjoyed the video, and I will see you guys later.